First things first, Easter update. I went to the local villagey shop earlier, and would you believe it, the shelves were still full of Easter eggs. It looks like none of them have been touched. Also saw a bounty Easter egg. Don't think I've ever seen one of them before, or at least not observed, taking it in. So that's a thing. Surprise, surprise, nobody's bought it. Anyway, today I would like to discuss an item that I found. I was looking through, because I needed some CDs for a wedding-related thing. And my CD spindles, I have a couple of these, and a lot of them have actual written discs in them. So, for example, here's a copy of Dark Basic that my dad made. He had this thing for a while of whenever we bought anything on CD, he'd always make a copy of it and then stick the original back on eBay. And Dark Basic was one of them. It came with Dark Matter, in fact, which is like a pack of models and stuff. And that got put on a CD, and then the original was sold almost immediately. I think he was on a bit of an eBay kick at the time. And it's a bit of a shame, because it would have been nicer to have the originals, but hey, having them at all is better than nothing, I suppose. So, I was looking through these, and I found some interesting items. Most of them are on the other spindle, which is still upstairs. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at the spindle, making sure I've got the discs that I wanted off it. There's not really a lot on this one. Some driver discs and edutainment, which is pretty good. And yeah, mostly it's just blank DVDs on there. But there was an item of a lot of interest, you see, because, well, I'll just show you the disc. So here it is, FPS Creator Full. It's got my name on it, and then I've signed it. That was my signature back in 2005, because yes, this is a copy of FPS Creator from 2005. FPS Creator was released in 2005, so that's no real surprise. But this happens to be the early adopter edition of FPS Creator. So just as a little background, when it was first released, I think, April 2005, I know that for a fact, maybe a little earlier, and certainly a bit later, you could buy the early adopter release of FPS Creator, and in doing so, you had access to a special forum, and you got to try the software before the 1.0 release. So I kind of latched onto this, and I said to my dad, hey, can I get this? And he bought it for me. It was 30 quid according to archive.org, which not a small amount of money back in the day. And if I recall, I ended up buying the full version again for full price on a separate account. So I bet they were rather confused by that. But anyway, this is the early adopter release. So it wasn't ever on a physical disc. It was just an email. So you download the zip file and then install it on your computer. And so he obviously put it on this CD. Without a serial key, I might add. Dad, if you're watching, make sure you write down the serial keys in future. For a lot of software that you buy. Incidentally, if you do still happen to have access to that email address, see if you can find the serial key in there. Would be interesting. Anyway, that's beside the point. The early adopter release has not been archived anywhere. Well, before today anyway. I've looked for it various times over the years. I've tried to access the email account so I could download a copy. And I've had no luck whatsoever. Not that it's of any, it's not majorly exciting really, because it's just like a buggier, less finished version of the 1.0 release. But the fact that it's not been preserved is, it's of importance to me. And so when I found this, I was very excited. couldn't initially get into it because it requires a serial key, which I don't have, but it turns out I found an extractor program that can extract the installer, and I tried it out and it works great. So that's been my day. I've been getting this together. I put this on archive.org earlier, and if you wanted to give it a try, then you can do. It's, as far as I can tell, it's a completely virgin file. It's just a standard zip which has the correct date on it, so I can only assume that is the exact file as it was downloaded from the game creator's server back in the day. So that's today's vlog. That's kind of it. I feel like I've done my bit towards software preservation today. I know it's, like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking, but stuff like this is important. And maybe, just maybe, if the game creators themselves are watching this video, beta versions of the software could be of interest. Maybe even beta versions of and other versions of the 3D Game Maker, which piece of crap software, but endlessly fascinating to me, despite all that. Anyway, that's today's vlog, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.